Well, can you believe it? The last show of 2022.
It is hard to believe, but this is commUNITY.
Well, this month on commUNITY, we're going to take a look back on the people and the events that have made such a difference in our community.
Some were good, some were oh so sad.
When you look at these streets, what do you see?
I see opportunity.
Chichi Owenwani was born and raised in Nigeria, but considers Buffalo home and the East Side an opportunity for the Queen City's next success story through a program called the East Side Avenues Initiative.
The East Side Avenues Initiative is a public-private philanthropic partnership that is essentially supposed to spur economic activity within the east side of Buffalo.
It all started with a $65 million state investment from the Buffalo Billion, bolstered by another $8 million from local banks and foundations. The first bank to jump on was Chichi's present employer, KeyBank. But he has seen the project from both sides. Before moving to KeyBank, he was the program coordinator for the initiative.
There's a whole lot already going on the east side, so we're not like building anything. We're not. We're essentially just taking, the things that's already there and just trying to figure out how to improve those things, right? So by working with the community, trying to figure out how can we build upon what's already on the East Side Avenue. So that's the essence of what we've been trying to do.
The program focuses on revitalization along the 4 commercial corridors on the east side: Bailey, Fillmore, Jefferson, and Michigan. Its key is a series of 5 programs that promote personal investment from the stakeholders within the community.
When those individuals themselves live up to their full potential, then the community benefits.
Those programs are a transformation of the East Side commercial districts, real estate development training for building owners, commercial stabilization for historic buildings, promoting tourism along the Michigan Street Heritage District, and the reactivation of the Central Terminal. The program is as much about promoting pride within the neighborhoods as it is bringing in outside investment.
Part of the East Side Avenues Initiative is to also help change the narrative, because oftentimes people hear, one narrative that tends to get stuck, for years and decades. But by lifting up individuals within the community themselves, people are able to see a different narrative.
If a person chose to continue to wear a mask outside or at all, is that okay?
Truth is, not only has the mask decreased the spread of COVID, it's also decreased the spread of other viruses and colds that are out here that predominate during the winter months. So it's not a bad thing.
If you can change some minds right now, what do you say?
We are human beings, and that we want to make sure that we all live and respect one another.
I'm very pleased to be standing here in front of you today and humbled to be the 914th Air Refueling Wing Commander.
How about the distinction of being the first female commander of this space? That's got to be something for you.
So I am honored to be the wing commander here. It's a little too bad that in 2022, me being the first wing commander is a novelty. I really just look forward to being the commander and leading the men and the women of the 914th. But it is an honor.
I'm a little girl from the east side who never could have imagined being here, ever. First class to Buffalo Prep, right? Went to Nichols, didn't finish, got into some trouble that most people from my neighborhood, a lot of people from my neighborhood get into. It was counted out kind of early, but I think that I describe myself as tenacious and resilient. I'm a fighter.
So where did you end up graduating from school?
I didn't. I have a GED. I ended up getting in some trouble. 16 years old, I was a witness to a horrific murder on the east side, and I finished my GED in protective custody. I also became a teenage mom. Ryan changed my life, and so from there, got married to a Marine, joined the Navy myself, and life changed. And I think those things, those experiences, getting out of Buffalo gave me a structured and disciplined perspective that I needed.
She returned to Buffalo with 3 sons and attended UB Law School.
While I was in law school and I met this senator who said he was going to run for mayor. I didn't believe that Buffalo was ever going to elect a black mayor. He asked me to send him his resume. I did. He won. And 15 years ago, I started off as his executive assistant in this very office.
The office she now sits in as the City of Buffalo's deputy mayor and chief of staff. The little girl who first visited this office at age 6 when former Mayor Jimmy Griffin was in office.
She had that magic gift to make people do what they didn't want to do and to volunteer, and everybody felt like they knew her really well and they were really close to her. She had that charm.
Mary Hennigan was everything Buffalo Irish. Hennigan was the president of the Gaelic American Athletic Association, chair of the board of directors at the Buffalo Irish Center, and the owner of Terra Gift Shop on Abbott Road. She was also behind the reimagining of the Buffalo Irish Festival at the Outer Harbor, much of which she did in her final weeks from her hospital bed at Roswell Park. In fact, it was on the final day of the festival that Mary passed away. Some say she hung on with the sole purpose of seeing the festival across the finish line.
He was the one who cared for so many children in Buffalo.
He just exuded calmness, and he's so intelligent, and he just put people at ease.
Dr. Jonathan Daniels was one of a handful of black pediatricians. Dr. Nylander was well aware of Dr. Daniels' push for diversity in the medical community as he worked to broaden the pool of students entering medicine.
This year's class is one of the largest incoming classes of African American and black and brown students that we've had in a long time.
July 4th, fire ripped through Dr. Daniels' home on Huntington Avenue. Fire officials say he went back in to save his 2 daughters. For that, they call him a hero. Dr. Daniels, along with his daughters, Jordan, 27, and Jensen, 23, died. An influencer, the Reverend Dr. William Gillison knew his worth while living.
But we have to wake up as a people, take responsibility, and begin to also not invest within ourselves, but invest in the generations yet to come.
Invest in children and a community. It's why he was always at recent press conferences about education. Reverend Gillison's service was a celebration of life, a life well lived, and a life that created purpose and opportunity.
He will long be remembered as pastor, faith leader, civic advocate, spiritual mentor, and a family man.
Rashawn Odell.
Well, I started sneaking into my dad's studio. Grandmother introduced me to Liberace. My dad introduced me to like everything else, violin, I played drums, and my dad took me out actually, and I started playing drum gigs on a professional level.
A bass player with a list of accolades.
What does it mean to you when you pick up the bass?
When I pick up the bass, it's like nothing else. It's just, I don't have to think about anything. It just happens. So whatever I think, whatever I feel, it comes right through the instrument. You give whatever kind of energy you give to me, I can put it out. Phil Perry told me one time, he said, "Don't think too hard, it's just music." I know a lot of people that were exposed to music, but they had to work for it. Sometimes it's just a natural thing. For me, it just came natural. Like, I still have to practice. Sometimes you look at your hands and it's like, this is what I want you to do, but it's like, yeah, but you haven't touched me in a while, so.
When it's showtime for you, you're ready. Let's go.
I'm ready. I'm just excited for the most part, I'm just excited to be there.
You can find Rochelle Odell on tour with smooth jazz R&B funk musician Brian Culbertson. Coming up, Community looks back at sports in Buffalo.
Welcome back to Community. You know, sports are such a big part of this city and the entire area.
High school sports especially as well, and so we want to celebrate the Bennett Tigers because they won a state championship in football. They beat all of the odds. We know that they had 6 games taken away from them, yet they persevered, they fought. Coach McDuffie took them all the way to the championship.
Yeah, and you know, they said, we don't want those victories back. We want that as a badge of honor. We took our forfeits, we accepted the decision, and we still blew out all our opponents on the way to a state championship. Only the second Buffalo public school to ever win a state championship, because they've only been competing for them for the last 10 years.
And that's why we're celebrating you, the Bennett Tigers.
Buffalo Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs teamed up with the mayor for his first annual back-to-school backpack giveaway. It was on Jefferson Avenue in the Tops parking lot.
What is it really like to come back here and to stand on these grounds and do this for the kids in the community?
I feel at home, you know what I'm saying? I feel at home with my people. I feel at home. I feel safe. I don't have no issues. I told them that I don't need no police officers. I don't need none of that, just because, like, when you're giving back and you're doing things the right way, you shouldn't have no problem.
Inner City, he says, is where he wants to be.
Coming back and bringing that love full circle is always more impactful. And then, you know, I guess some people say I call it the inner city. It's much more urban area. It's my people here. It's black people here. So I want them to see me. I want to be visible. I want them to touch me, take pictures with me, let them know that I'm here for them. I'm not all the way in, you know, Orchard Park all the time.
The Punt Foundation just gives me so much more meaning than just football, because football is incredible. It's a great sport, but at the same time, it's just a game. But the awesome thing about NFL football is it gives you a platform to be able to change the community that you're in, as well as get messages out to people that would have never heard you if you didn't play football.
And the message was loud and clear when Dawson's 22-year-old brother Luke, a Florida international football player, died suddenly in August. Fans from Buffalo to the Knox brothers' hometown, Nashville, started donating $16.88, a number representing the brothers' jersey numbers.
The Buffalo Sabres announced their leadership team for the season. Rasmus Dahlin and Zemgus Girgensons appointed assistant captains, and Kyle Oposo got the C on his jersey.
Because of the way he handles himself, the players say that's someone I want to follow.
Definitely a tremendous honor and something that, you know, with everything that's going on in the world, I don't take lightly.
I believe that leadership is not something that is merely earned, but is a lifelong commitment.
Meet Alex Burgos.
We have so many young, brilliant Latinos here in Western New York, especially here in our West Side community.
He's 24.
Younger leadership is rising, and it's just really amazing to see so many of us rising into our positions of power and growing.
Coming up on Community, we will never forget.
Everybody who got killed tonight didn't deserve that.
This is a day of great sadness for all of us in the city of Buffalo.
I hope that as a nation, as a community, just people at home, they teach their kids to love instead of hate, because that's not what she represented.
This is my son, Jake Patterson. He is 12 years old, and they took his father. He will grow up fatherless. And as a mother, what am I supposed to do to help him get through this? I need a village to help me raise and be here for my son, because he has no father.
Beautiful, but nothing's going to take the place of my mom. I'm a child. I have no siblings. That's all I had was her. And she got 6 grandkids and a great-grandkids. They love her too. They're not going to get to see her. She's not going to have Mother's Day with her, you know?
If my brother was here today, we would not be here in this situation. So I'm just hoping that, again, you know, my brother doesn't die in vain. I hope that something is able to happen. We just need change. We need to stop and end this racism. As we all know, Buffalo is a melting pot, and we just all need to come together and just make positive change. I think it needs to start with the education system.
Marcus was a beautiful young man. I mean, a beautiful guy, loving, caring. He took care of me and his daughter. He was our hero. There's nothing that he wouldn't do for us or his mom.
Memories are the same, like even as an adult and as a kid. She's just, you know, every time you see her, she was just happy. She was happy to see you.
When she walked in, her voice, just her in general. It's not gonna be the same without her.
We're gonna miss her. Like, we're gonna miss her so much.
The last time I spoke with my mother was on Mother's Day. I sent her a text message saying Happy Mother's Day. She replied back, thank you. We've seen this over and over and over again. Honestly speaking, I wouldn't be surprised if another event happens like this down the line. I never thought that this would happen in Buffalo. And my mom showed to be a victim of this because somebody woke up, decided they didn't like black people, and shot a hollow point bullet just right here with her fiance watching, hiding in the cooler as best as he could, and he ended up getting scratches all over his chest and arms.
No matter what she went through, she was full of life, caring, happy. She cared about everyone. This is just sad. I was actually supposed to, she was standing there waiting for me. And I did a U-turn to get coffee, and I didn't make it on time.
I am the eldest daughter of Ruth Whitfield. She was my best friend. What am I to do? What am I supposed to do now? I keep seeing her face coming up everywhere I look. But I can't kiss her, I can't hug her. We were supposed to go see the Temptations play that night. I need this violence to stop. We need to fix this, and we need to fix it now.
He loved others, how he loved his family, how he extremely loved his job, and how he loved his community. And I'm feeling mixed emotions. I'm feeling sorrow. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling pain. Not much anger, but I'm feeling compassion for the other families, for their losses. And I'm feeling a loss for the community because they lost a beautiful, beautiful person.
The mass shooting at Thompson Jefferson hit home with Bishop Michael Curry, presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church. He said his heart is heavy with the news that a white supremacist gunman took the lives of 10 children of God in Buffalo. He grew up walking just a short distance from the scene of the crime. Buffalo's black community, he said, raised and formed him, and he grieves with the city. I interviewed Bishop Curry 4 days before the mass shooting. We discussed what he says is needed in the world: love.
My sister, we have got to do it, and more than that, together.
Most remember him from delivering the powerful wedding sermon for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, The Power of Love.
When love is the way, when love is the way.
You've covered so many of these shootings that have disrupted communities across America. For it to happen in New York State, in the city of Buffalo, so far, what have you been able to capture here?
What I think I've captured, and I have covered a lot of these, but there seems to be a special sense of being selected, singled out. The fact that this person not only apparently had a detailed plan of action, but that this city, this corner, this market was identified as that place. And I think it's cast an especially strong sense of vulnerability here. And people trying to wrap their heads around it. It's hard because it reminds all of us, no matter what your stature in life is, that there are people who are going to judge you solely on the color of your skin. And you know, racism is not new to this country, this community, anywhere. But sometimes it can be a slap in the face and remind you this exists. This person studied this. This person, twisted and found some logic in poisonous, conspiracy theories. That's happening now. Thankfully, many of them don't arm themselves and commit atrocities like this, but enough have a capability. They're thinking about it. So we can't pretend that we're not a part of this. We are. The fact that this was an attack, aimed at black people is not lost on any of us. And no matter where you are in life, what you're doing, there are people who only see you through that one lens.
It's hard to find the words to say, and I don't know if there's anything that you can say to help somebody that's uneasy about something like that feel better, other than saying, I'm here for you, I hear you, I'm listening to you, and I can help. If there's any way that I can help, let me know, because I'm willing to do it. And just being there for them to lean on when they need it, and I think that's a microcosm of what our community needs right now, and that's why we're out here today.
A community continuing to heal, and the Buffalo Philharmonic held a concert for healing. The rain forced the BPO to move the event from Johnny B. Wiley Pavilion to Klein Hands.
Music is very powerful, so healing can be accomplished by music, especially when we're listening to it together.
The BPO teamed up with local musicians for a moving performance designed to bring comfort and hope to those affected by the TOPS shooting in May. That's Pastor Julian Cook of Macedonia Baptist Church singing. You may recall we spoke with him after the TOPS shooting, since his church is nearby.
I am really cautioning folks as a pastor to be careful of rushing beyond the grief too soon. Right now, we really need to sit through the pain of losing 10 people, of seeing 3 more injured, people who we know and love in this community.
Pastor Cook and his wife, vocalist Sigourney Cook, performed.
And I hope that they will feel better when they leave, and at least know how much they are loved by the Buffalo Philharmonic.
Maestro Folletta, along with assistant conductor Jamin Dunn, conducted the concert for healing. Every piece performed was by a black composer, from Duke Ellington to Florence Price. The plan is to make this an annual event.
It certainly has been a year that we won't forget, and we will never forget the victims of the mass shooting at TOPS on Jefferson Avenue in Buffalo.
And as we close out 2022, it's important to reflect on what has happened, but also be thankful for what we have. So with that, we want to say happy holidays to you, and here's to a great 2023.